How's it going, everybody? Chris Cards back through the mail. Monday 7 returns for you today. Our very first coming back to us from Phoenix, Arizona. Let's just tear into this guy and see who we have. We've got Rick Manning. Rick Manning, current and longest tenured commentator slash announcer for the Cleveland Guardians. Since 1990, he's been doing games for them. Rick Manning, former second overall pick of the Indians way back in 1972. Spent 9 years with the Indians, 5 with the Brewers. Nice little 13-year career. Pretty good center fielder. Won a Gold Glove in 1976. Also a bit of a homewrecker. Went out with, had an affair with Dennis Eckersley's wife, which caused Eckersley to get traded to the Red Sox. So that's interesting. Side note to Rick Manning. And eventually married Dennis Eckersley's wife and divorced Dennis Eckersley's wife. So she got around back in the 70s. I wonder what she's doing now. Here you guys go. Here's information. Let's move on to return number 2. Nice to get some of these cards signed for the set, the 87 tops and 84 tops. Baltimore, Maryland here on the top of this envelope right there. You see it? Let's rip into this and see who we have for our second return here. We've got Tippy Martinez. Tippy, a nickname his Aunt Helen gave him. There we go. Signed nicely there in blue. Did not sign that one. Signed the other 2, but did not sign the 1. 3 of 4 from Tippy Martinez. 1969 35th round draft pick of the Senators. And he made it to the Bigs. Not only made it to the Bigs, became a World Series champion with the Orioles in 1983. Also an All-Star in 83, his only year as an All-Star. Spent 11 years with the Orioles, 3 with the Yankees, and 3 games at the end of his career in 1988 with the Twinks. There you guys go. There's information. Great signer. Great dude. Maybe he only signs 3. I have no idea. But he signed 3 of 4. A nice return from Tippy Martinez. And yes, I've got an 84 and 87 tops to send off to him as well. So got to get that taken care of. Awesome return from Tippy. Let's move on to return number 3. Boston, Massachusetts for our next return here. And let's find out who we got behind envelope number 3. Let's see here. We've got, looks like some vintage here. We've got Wilbur Wood. Wilbur Wood, great signer. Always inscribes his cards. Wilbur Wood and to Chris. And he did not sign the 75 tops card. I thought I'd give it a shot, but he does not normally sign cards that are quote-unquote signed already, even though electronically. But whatever. It was worth a shot. It's the only other card I had of his. 3-time All-Star. Led the AL in wins in 1972 and 1973. Really good pitcher for quite a while. A really good reliever. Got into a ton of games. And then a really good starter as well. Between 72 and 75. Led the league in game starts. So he was a workhorse there for quite a while. Spent 12 of those years with the White Sox. And spent 4 years with the Red Sox. So there you guys go. Wilbur Wood. Do not send him a 75 tops card. He will not sign it. Those are probably going to get pretty hard to get signed unless maybe you pay him. I'm not sure how he operates, but there you guys go. Wilbur Wood, there's information. Let's move on to our 4th return of the day. And envelope here is from Santa Barbara, California. We're back to the Santas again. Thought we got that out of our system last week. And we've got Ken McMullen. Ken McMullen, awesome career, 16 years in total. 6 with the Senators, 6 with the Dodgers. Played first, played third, got displaced by a guy named Ron Say in Los Angeles. There you guys go, signed these really nicely. 1963 World Series champ, inscribed there very nicely. Unfortunately, he was injured during the 63 series. He did not play. He did play in 74 for the Dodgers. Got a pinch hitting appearance in his only postseason at bat. Did strike out. Ken McMullen, awesome signer. Some great vintage. 81 years young, I do believe. These guys are getting harder and harder to get. Ken McMullen, let's move on to our next return. 5th return, I do believe. Santa Ana, California, our very next return. Once again, another Santa, Saint, and Espanol. Here we guys go. All those missionaries in California laid the groundwork for all these retired players to live. Kevin Elster on a Topps Big card. Were they called Topps Big? I think they were. Boy, I hated those cards, man. You couldn't put them anywhere. You just destroyed them. Same with the Bowman cards from, 80, 88, 89, I think 90, they became normal sized. Kevin Elster, 7 cards signed by this former second-round draft pick of the Mets back in 1984. He charges $3 a card, and I guess if you charge an odd amount of money for your signature, you are going to get an odd amount of cards because I wanted to make this as close to even as possible. $21, 7 cards, 2 bills in the envelope. That made it pretty easy. And even though Elster had a lot of injuries in the early 90s and he didn't play much, he still had like 7 million trading cards out there. And as a kid growing up a Mets fan, I had every single one of them. Pretty cool to get these signed. Very nice. 7 years with the Mets, and he spent 5 more teams after the Mets. Never played more than 2 years with any of them. Had his best season in 1996 on the Texas Rangers when everyone magically started hitting home runs left and right, along with, you know, the usual cast of characters that played on that team. And there you guys go. Nice return from Kevin Elster. I think I'm out of Kevin Elster cards. I think that's like the 3rd time Kevin Elster has been on Through the Mail Monday. So there it is. All right, guys, let's move on to return numero 6. All right, my friends, 6th return. One more after this. This one is, it looks like, from Shreveport, Louisiana. That's a different one. Blank index card, and we've got another blank index card, and we've got Jim Willis. Jim Willis on a 1954 Topps Archives card. Check that out. Jim Willis just got into 27 big league games in his career. Back in 1953 and 1954, got into 13 games one year, 14 games the other year, and that was it. 2-2 record, 3.39 ERA for the Cubs. Only trading card appearance was 1954 Topps, not, of course, including any oddball or reprint cards, such as these two. He signed these kind of legibly. It is what it is. There you guys go. Very nice return from Jim Willis. Nice to get this back. Thank you very much, Jim. Let's move on to our 7th and final return of the day. This next one is from the vault. That's right, an envelope from about 3 years ago. I just picked out of a pile and said, let's find out who sent me a return like a couple years ago, and I just never opened it. So let's open it now. Let's do it. All right, friends, our vintage return of the day came to us back in July 20th of 2020, almost 3 years ago to the day. And this was sitting in a pile. Never got opened. And we've got Hal Rather. Hal Rather, who played for the Philadelphia Athletics way back in 1954. He pitched 1 game, pitched 2 innings, and that was it. He didn't play again in the big leagues till 1957 when he played for the Kansas City Athletics, right there on the signature cards. In fact, both index cards also signed. 57, he got into another game, pitched another 2 innings, and that was it for his entire career. 6.75 ERA, 4 total innings pitched in his career, and his inscriptions on those signature cards are pretty sweet. And his inscriptions are basically his entire Major League Baseball career. He did not fill out the back. I did not think he would, but there you guys go. Hal Rather. This was back when I was going through the Major League Baseball's oldest players list, starting, of course, with the oldest, and sending off to everybody that would sign on that list. And it was a good thing I did. Actually, I think I've got the last confirmed, at least, return from Hal before passing. He passed away in September of 2020, and I got this back in July of 2020. I'm not sure if anyone had any more returns after that, but very nice to get these back from Hal before he passed. Awesome, gracious with his time, making an idiot like me happy towards the end of his life, and hopefully I made him happy. Hopefully he enjoyed it, signing the cards and whatnot. So there you guys go. Through the Mail Monday. And yeah, there's a bunch of envelopes that are probably of more deceased players because I hit that oldest player list pretty hard. And if they didn't have cards, which of course Hal did not have a card, I sent signature cards. So it's cool to get those back. Really cool to get those both inscribed. Philadelphia Athletics and KC Athletics. Too bad he couldn't hang on and play for the Oakland A's and the Las Vegas A's, but that would have been quite the feat, of course. That's it for this week's Through the Mail Monday. 7 gigantic returns. Hope everyone enjoyed them. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Anything else to tell you guys? Not really. Not really. Had a laid-back weekend. Actually had to work. Chris Cards had to work, get his hands dirty. I might even have a cut on my next TTM videos. I always try to make sure my hands are well manicured. I got made fun of for that once, actually. Someone yelled at me for making sure my hands weren't hideously grotesque. Oh, you manicured your hands. Yeah, I don't want you guys. You guys literally just stare at cards in my hands. I gotta. The least I can do is make my hands look decent. Okay, it's bad enough I shove my freckly arm in your face every now and then. I'm sorry about that. I really am. But my hands. The least I can do is just make sure I don't have stuff under my fingernails and look like I live on a street. So, and or have marks and scratches and scrapes and wounds, like open wounds. I've had a few. I've hid them pretty well from you guys, I think. But might have. I'm looking at one right now. Next week might be on next week's video. because I got it done after everything's out of place here in these videos. The audio is done later, and whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Had a great time. Didn't get time to get much done this weekend as far as a set update, but I'll make sure I get that done. Might be tough to hide it, but we'll see. It's a week away, and I heal fast, so let's keep our fingers crossed there, guys. And that is it, my guys. That is it, my guys and friends and girls. Any girls out there? Go ahead and leave a comment in the section and just say you are female, because I don't think there is. I think we're all guys here, and that's okay. We're okay with that. It's kind of a guy hobby anyway. So anyway, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. In fact, you've probably already clicked off this video. You're not listening to any of this right now. Well, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't know. Like, let's say me and you were sitting in a room, we're having a conversation, and you just get out and walk away and shut the door. I mean, it's just kind of like that, except I can't see you do anything. Like, you could have shut the door, and I'll just keep talking. It just won't matter. That's nice. I should go outside and touch some grass. It's nice out there. That's what I'm going to do next. That's what I'm going to do next, guys. See ya.